All right, we should be live. If anybody's watching the archived video of this, we're having some connection issues, so just keep that in mind. It seems to be hitting the NIMP worse than it's hitting other people, but, who knows? Who knows the whims and the ways of Skype?
Other people means me, by the way.
Yeah. The third person.
Yes. I'm just saying. I know you guys don't give a flying fuck, but did you guys hear about Bray Wyatt getting released from WWE?
No.
So do you know who the Fiend is? The guy with the scary mask?
I have heard the name, yes.
I do not. Fiend.
That's Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Oh my, that is a mask.
Consistently comes up with incredibly creative characters and then consistently gets fucking beat all the fucking time because WWE doesn't want to give him a push. Former leader of the Wyatt family, which was an incredible
name,
fucking stable.
Like 6 articles about him being released.
This is like Nah, go ahead. I lost it.
No, go ahead. Something about modern day Undertaker by any chance?
No, his mask. It looks like a Slipknot mask. That's what. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, Slipknot." Also, R.I.P. that drummer. That sucks. That's a bummer, man.
Fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
I did like the black screens going around Twitter, which was great.
Yep.
Like,
he's the guy with the
don't
TV
even need
show,
to say anything,
right?
Yeah, the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah. Okay.
Which it's great. Boston Firefly Funhouse is like him dealing with all of his demons as a character.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's like all of the issues he's had in the past, and he got injured and he come back and he started doing like this kids TV show, but really fucking creepy kids TV show, like with these puppets. Like he had a Vince McMahon puppet and like a Sister Abigail puppet, which was a remnant from his old character, from his Bray Wyatt character. Jeez. And then this whole Firefly Funhouse turned into like this secret nightmare inside of his inner sanctum, like where he was basically going crazy and he came out as the Fiend.
Oh, wow.
He had the cinematic match with John Cena at WrestleMania, which is the Firefly Funhouse match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically a fucking straight rip of John Cena's entire career and all the faults that his career has had.
Oh, wow.
But he constantly gets fucking beat like all the fucking time. And he was also very, very good friends with Brody Lee, who recently died. You probably would have seen the things going around about him. He was one of the Wyatt family who went to AEW. And it's fucking horrific. Like, he was super close friends with him. Like, everybody in the wrestling industry like loved Brody Lee. Brody Lee, who is from Rochester, New York, just saying. And like, he basically died and everybody was fucking heartbroken about it. Apparently it hit Bray pretty hard. So kind of fed up. He was supposed to return again. Bray was like, August or October. But apparently like there's been back and forth issues with him wanting to be more creative. And basically WWE saying, nice try.
Like usual, saying like, no thanks, not interested.
Yeah, and we're going to run with the zombie theme because 2021 is the year of the zombies, apparently.
Right.
By the way, which I heard WWE did. I ain't seen shit to do with it because nobody likes it. So it's not getting retweeted anywhere. But they've let Bray Wyatt go. Daniel Bryan is also out of WWE. He's the guy with the beard who did the Yes Chants, for those of you
Oh, wow, really?
who don't know. He's gone from WWE.
Wild.
And they're talking about there is too much smoke for there to not be fire. But they are sincerely talking about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, who hasn't wrestled in fucking 10 years, heading over to AEW. And if they're joined by a certain Bray Wyatt, that kind of would be an incredible threesome.
Ah, sure. Right. It's all coming together.
So are they actually like the different wrestling ones? Or they're not all owned by the same company? They're all okay.
So WWE owns Raw, SmackDown, NXT. A lot of the UK talent is currently owned by WWE. But they're the shows that they put on all under the WWE umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But they are struggling. They have let a whole bunch of people go under the budget cuts thing. They did an Activision Blizzard where they were like, yeah, we just released these 56 people in the middle of a fucking quarantine because of budgetary reasons.
That COVID can't be helped.
Yeah. And then announced their most profitable quarter of all time.
Right.
Basically.
Vince McMahon gets another $200 million.
Yeah, which is ironic considering you don't pay for these guys' healthcare. So
the scumbags.
Go screw yourself, number one.
Yeah.
But AEW is owned by Tony Khan, who is a billionaire who I think his dad owns the TNT network. So AEW is on TNT, and they've got Dynamite, and they...
Is that what used to be TNT Wrestling?
No, you're thinking of TNA, which still exists.
Right. I get the impression that AEW was largely formed as like, we all got let go from WWE over the course of a while. Let's make a group that does the same thing, but let's actually like treat our stars and our employees and our talent well and not like cattle. Let's see if that'll work. And whoops, it has.
You're actually
indie studio.
You're actually surprisingly close when you said that. So New Japan Pro Wrestling, there was a whole bunch of wrestling organizations out there.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
A bunch of Americans made their name huge in Japan. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. Finn Balor was one of their group before he got signed to WWE. AJ Styles was one of their group before he went to WWE.
Oh, wow.
But a bunch of these people made their name huge. Cody Rhodes, son of Dustin Rhodes, brother of Goldust. Like he got let go by WWE, went to Japan, made a huge name for himself with these other guys who Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have never really worked with WWE. They've decades ago had like 1 or 2 house spots, but that's it.
Right.
But they made this huge name for themselves, and then they thought, why not do an indie pay-per-view where we'll have stars of New Japan, stars of TNA, stars of the indie scene, stars of like everywhere except for WWE, basically.
Hey, Cosmic Cow in chat. Yeah, it's like a super group when like 4 bands come together and it's Dave Grohl's on the drums. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, exactly. So they did that and they called it All In was the name of their pay-per-view.
That's a really good name.
Including a very special wrestling match featuring one Cody Rhodes and Stephen Amell. By the way.
Great.
So
that's for anyone that long-time listener. Yeah, that's the Arrow.
Yes. When you saw Cody Rhodes appear on the Arrow shows, that was wise because they were doing wrestling with each other.
Right. That's wild.
Cody Rhodes is the guy who can't feel any pain. He hangs around with Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The blonde-haired guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's Cody Rhodes. So they did this all-in pay-per-view, and it was pretty much pushed up by Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody. Then the next year, they were like, we're going to form a company.
Right.
And it's All Elite Wrestling, and Tony Khan is going to be our financier. And by the way, look at all of this indie talent that we've got.
Look at these 75 peeps we got.
And by the way, if you want to go and wrestle in New Japan, go wrestle in New Japan. You want to go wrestle in TNA, go wrestle in TNA.
Go
you
crazy.
Want to do an indie show down the road? Go do an indie show down the road.
Yep.
We don't care.
Wrestle 3 other people in Poughkeepsie? Who cares?
Yes. So it's a wrestling company started by wrestlers who didn't want to deal with the WWEs of the world. So
That's cool.
They came out with All In 2020, I think it was 2019, was their second one, and that was their first official AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was the first appearance on live television of Orange Cassidy when he came into the Battle Royale last because he took so long to get to the ring.
The best wrestler ever.
And they've got like they've started hiring all the legends. They've got Jake the Snake. They've got DDP in there. They've got all of these old legends in there to help teach the kids how to do things better.
That's
and
smart.
Put over the kids. And everybody, you had your faces, you had your heels, whatever. And then my personal favorite, Kenny Omega became the most hated heel in professional wrestling because he's got every single title. It feels like
right.
He won the AEW title, then he went to Japan, and now he also has the New Japan Heavyweight title. So he is literally flying across the globe to defend this title.
Right.
It's the storylines they've been doing is so long term. They've got Cowboy, can't remember his name now. Oh well, it's gone. But he's had a 1.5 year long arc to his storyline right now.
Wow.
And it's like you don't get that in any other in any other promos.
Right.
The last time I saw a build that was this long was Kenny Omega in New Japan when he was going against their top guy and he literally couldn't beat him. So good. And now Sling Blade, who was a New Japan champion, is making appearances on TNA, and Kenny Omega is taking the AEW title on TNA and wrestling on TNA.
That's crazy. Everybody wins.
Ridiculous, and it's amazing, and it's literally like they are all elevating all of the other companies higher.
Yeah, exactly. Like a rising tide raises all ships.
Exactly. Instead of this whole WWE bullshit of like you literally for 10 years you couldn't say the term wrestling.
Right.
On the
back in your cage.
About wrestlers.
Right.
Like it was ridiculous. Like
stupid.
CM Punk broke the rules when he literally said, maybe I'll go to New Japan Pro Wrestling on live television, and the world lost its mind.
Right. And he lost his job. Whoops.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He's an asshole, but he's a fucking talented wrestler.
Yeah. He's a talented asshole.
Yes.
All right, you guys ready to start this thing?
Yeah.
Yes, now that I've ranted for 20 minutes about wrestling to people who don't care.
No, I find all of like the politics and the drama and like the behind the scenes stuff fascinating. I just the like on stage the storylines, the heels and the kayfabes and all that, like that stuff has just never clicked with me.
Dude,
I'm a businessman.
Find a wrestler you like, and yet your favorite character is Orange Cassidy.
I know, like the most like meta performer possible. Good, so good. All right.
Not to mention, he's doing a super punch now, and his super punch is called Orange Punch. Like that's just.
It's great. It's great. Hey, Jimbo Jangles. All right, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
Howdy.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Let's get started by talking about patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. But you can get all the good behind the scenes, early access, exclusive stuff. My favorite every week is the Outcast. That's the exclusive and uncensored pre-show stuff where we just talk about all the other stuff except for video games. You get early access to We Rogue Like It. You get a couple month early access to Critical Misses. We just started a super short season here that we're done with one of 2 movies here, and it was sure a trip. And I'm excited to dive into our next one. That's season 8. Season 7 is airing right now for patrons, and you can get early access to all of that. What's that?
You can't drop season 7 like that. And
season 7 is the Alien Quadrilogy. So if you wanted to hear us go through the first 4 Alien movies, it's a wild. There's it for any of you that have listened to season 7, episode 1 for the original Alien film. I have somehow managed in my near 40 years on this planet missed like the biggest story point of the Alien films. So you need to go listen to that to figure out how I managed to completely avoid this massive story beat. It's almost impressive. It's wild. You listen to that, and now almost 700 episodes of audio. Patreon.com/E1M1. The $5 a month tier is a recommended one. That gets you everything. All right, Moon. What have you been playing this past week?
Nothing.
Okay. Moon being under the weather this week.
Yes, I have been relatively under the weather this week, so lots of sleeping, lots of medicines, and lots of hydrating. Not so much with the clickety-clacks of the video games.
Right.
Clickety-clacks is so good. Okay, so let's start with Destiny 2. So,
A lot happened this week.
Going on, whatever. So,
how do you feel as a new player? How do you feel about Solstice of Heroes?
Well, it's fine. I didn't know what was going on for the longest time ever.
Destiny.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't play, really quickly, Solstice of Heroes is like it's their summer celebration. It's like celebrating all the Guardians that play the game. Essentially, the Space Grandma, Ava Levante, gives you an armor set, and each one of them has like 3 objectives on it. They're all really easy stuff where it's like, go run 3 strikes, or go do 2 Altars of Sorrow things, or like gather a bunch of orbs. Real straightforward stuff that you get to play a little bit of all the features. You do all those on the blue set, you do it all again on the purple set, and then they give you one last set of objectives for like the glowy set at the end.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about those last objectives, because I didn't play for like a week and change, and then I was a week and change behind on the Solstice of Heroes with, like, quests. So I may or may not have, spent the very limited video game time I had this week grinding out these events to try and get to my last set of purple stuff.
If you're not feeling well, what better to do than just like grind a bunch of mindless stuff in Destiny?
Which, in my defense, I'm also doing this while doing the pinnacle only pop stuff, so I can get my gear tier up a little bit higher.
Right.
Gear tier, like whatever.
Power level, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The numbers, they go up.
Make the number go big. That's
right.
what I do. So I'm working on that at the same time. And I finally, yesterday, while like in the middle of getting my laundry done and everything else, and like I finally get all of the purples, like quests on it. I go on hand of it and I get the spinny thing and it lights up and it's like, oh, you got 5 new pieces of armor. And then I look at the objectives for those last pieces of armor and I am, go screw yourself, Destiny.
So here's the benefit. That last set of armor where there's just 1 objective on each piece, number 1, you don't have to have the armor equipped to finish the objective on each piece. And number 2, you have the rest of Destiny 2 to achieve those. Those objectives don't go away after the event is over.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, complete the Master Nightfall raid. It's like, I'm doing that for an achievement anyway, Destiny.
Right.
Thank you.
That's 1 out of 5.
Seriously, come on.
Right.
And it's like, also beat the raid, also do this, also do that. It's like, do all of this high-end stuff.
It's like end game stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Destiny 2 continues to be Destiny 2. I
did send up the super sub bat signal this week for a raid fill-in, and then we had someone else drop out of the raid too, and I was like, okay, we already have 2 people. Everyone else who could fill in can't fill in this week. That's fine. We'll run Moon through some higher level Nightfalls to get some upgrade materials. That went way better than I thought. That was way easier than I thought. So I'm glad we were able to do like 6, 7 runs of that or something, and we got you just a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, something like that. Now I just
Yeah.
have to masterwork everything, which would be great.
Right. Slow and steady.
Yeah. Yeah, so steady.
All I know is Friday night I went to send Moon a message and saw he was playing Destiny 2. And I'm like, oh, he is having a killer time right now, and then closed the app.
Right. He's fine by himself.
Yeah. Yes, Destiny 2 continues to be a problem. Thank you, Boston,
You're
for
welcome.
ruining my
Hey,
life.
who else is going to run a bunch of Nightfalls and talk about Sequest DSV with you? Nobody.
That's true. That is true. And also, funnily enough, how much SGU needed another season. Not
That's
that
right.
that is a constant thorn in my side or anything like
That's
that.
right.
You know,
That's right.
I'm just saying. Go listen to, I don't know, the last 3 weeks worth of Outcasts to hear me complaining about SGU
Right.
over and over and over again. Oh, no. Destiny 2 is Destiny 2. Whatever. I played a little bit more Dark Alliance.
Mm.
I played this on Friday night with Rob, Nimp. Just saying.
Hey, like I said, I was
Destiny
going to
2
send you a
fun.
message. I think it was at like 9 o'clock, and it said Destiny 2 on it. I'm like, oh, he's in for the long haul.
Right. Right.
I was, and then I jumped over to the Xbox and played a whole bunch of Dark Alliance with Rob. And when I say a whole bunch, I mean one level which took like an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, while you were doing that, I was grinding out something else and yelling at things. So
There you go.
Yeah, sure. We all know that this guy plays itself.
No, I wasn't yelling at Disgaea. I love that game too much.
Right.
It can do no wrong
but
in
no.
my eyes.
That's right.
Yeah. But it was a long mission. It doesn't help when he's level 20 and I'm like ridiculously low level compared to him because he's an a-hole who played the game without us.
You're like level 6 and like, hold on, guys. I'm catching up.
Pretty much, except it's like 6 level difference. So he's level 20 and I'm like level 14 or something.
Oh, okay.
So, sure. But no, I still don't know how I feel about Dark Alliance. Some of it is so good, and some of it is so horrifically terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a weird, broken mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like a charming
but
one.
it's weirdly fun. That's the scary thing. It's like it's really good to, like, you know, stick my headphones in, listen to Star Wars Minute for like 17 more minutes, so I can finally get out of the prequel trilogy, and you know, just smack away at some goblins and whatever while I, you know, catch up on my space news.
Yeah. Minute by minute.
Yes, minute by minute. My final game this week. Final game. It's Death's Door.
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
So, because Mr. The Game Is Too Easy over here opened his mouth.
I finished my Umbrella run, which was not easy, and it was great. I'm now 1,000 points. I'm done with Death's Door. Unfortunately, I wish it was longer.
Yeah, I restarted the game.
Right.
And just used the Umbrella because I was like an hour and change in.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course I had to restart it and just use the Umbrella from this point on, because if you're saying it's too easy, then of course I can't let that besmirchment stand.
Can't let that thrown gauntlet just lay there.
Well, guess what, Moon? I also bought the game and waited to get the Umbrella.
Yeah, what's up? Let's go.
And now I can also say, I hate you, Boston.
Yeah. I'm actually really happy that I played through it on just a normal run to like get all the secrets and get all the enemy patterns and stuff. By the time I finished the Umbrella run, I had my strength to like level 5. I had my magic super high. So like I was at the end of the game, I was at the point where you usually start the game not using the Umbrella, so it was pretty manageable, but you still have to play really cleanly.
Yeah.
It's not too hard.
No.
It's not simple by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not too hard, and I may or may not be counteracting my lack of attack damage with just putting all of my points into the attack damage stat,
Yep.
like the top stat.
Yep.
So like I'm counterbalancing it with that a little bit. But I mean, it's great. It's fun. I beat the witch. I'm halfway through the mushroom forest place thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to play this week at all. Can we just give a shout out for that, like the music in that like underground like dungeon thing for the witch?
Yeah.
With the steam pipes.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good.
The soundtrack is so good.
And the fact that it's perfectly in tune with the pipes going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go into a room that doesn't have any pipes or it doesn't have a thing lit, that section of the music goes away completely until you start the pipes in that room as well.
Yep. I mean, Moonlighter had an incredible soundtrack, and I'm super happy to see this dude like stepped up his game even more from there.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say that crow looks dapper AF with that umbrella.
Oh yeah,
I like that it's open behind him the whole time. Open. Yeah, it's cool. That's a cool crow, man.
Oh, it's so good.
I will say, for me, I've just been keeping everything balanced with the stats. So every time I upgrade it just move down the line by one and then move over. Magic has been like using the fire, and eventually when you get the next magic thing for you, the next one is really made it a lot, not easier, but it's easier to work around than just trying to hit something with an umbrella.
Right. Yeah, especially, I don't know if you guys know, super minor spoiler here, you can upgrade each one of your spells, so keep an eye out for that. The upgraded fire one is stupid overpowered. It is incredible.
I did see an achievement for upgrading certain things, but I wasn't sure how to go about doing that yet.
Yep.
Right now, I actually have my Xbox suspended because I'm fighting what I believe to be the final boss right now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's been a lot of times I've been yelling and screaming at this game for how much it sucks just using the umbrella.
Yeah, I really liked that run because you have to play so cleanly. Like you really need to know the patterns, and you really need to have like your dodge down, and you have to play super conservatively. I think it's really great. I mean, it's not super duper like impossibly difficult, but it's a really good challenge.
It's like, I'm not saying that this is a Souls game, but it's like the same thing with Bloodborne, where it's like, I hate the fact that it's making me earn it because I chose this path.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my recommendation too for people that are playing this the first time as well, you can't 100% the game without finishing it first. So just don't you can get as many upgrades as you want, but you can't get the ending stuff until you finish it. So don't hold off on 100% for that.
I did find the Sailor too, and that's pretty awesome when you figure out what's actually happening.
It's really good. Yep.
I have not found the Sailor yet.
You'll find them.
It's in the third area,
pretty late in the game, but you can find them as soon as you get the fire spell, I think it is.
I believe so. Yeah. He's in the third area.
But
okay,
he tells you hey, you should go check out this the western side in the graveyard because there's something there. Or, he's the one that gives you the hints about hidden locations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for anyone that's playing this, I saw someone pretty unfairly complaining about getting lost in this game. Number one, getting lost is part of the exploration in this game, but the other thing too is if you're looking for the next big story beat, go talk to Grey Crow. He will show you. He will switch the camera.
Where to go.
Yeah, he'll switch the camera and be like, "Oh, go in the western side. That's where you need to go next." It's like, "Oh, okay, I know where that is. Great."
I will say I kind of wish there was some sort of map that I could pull up, because there have been times where I've made like a loop around an area and I'm like, I don't know where I need to be going right now, and then I
How do
find
I
like
leave
some
this?
ladder that I didn't notice. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it really rewards like sitting down at once and like finishing an entire dungeon so you don't lose the puzzle. And I wish there was a better way to be able to chop that stuff up. But yeah, Jimbo Jangles in chat says, which animal Zelda would be better, Death's Door or Tunic? That's the real question, because like, man, if you liked Death's Door, Tunic is exactly like this. And I'm really excited. I think Tunic is still coming out this year, so like,
I was gonna say, when's that supposed to come out?
Next month, I think. I think it's slated for September still. But yeah, I've been looking forward to Tunic for a long time, and after playing Death's Door, it's like, yeah, man, I could go for another like Zelda-like single player 10-hour beat it and be done thing. I like finishing games.
Saying sometime this year.
Oh, nice. Okay, fingers crossed. That's a super small team, so yeah. Death's Door is great,
but Death's Door is genuinely fantastic. So give it a shot if you're interested in a shorter, kind of Souls-esque, kind of Zelda-esque kind of experience.
Has like that deliberate combat with like Zelda exploring and puzzling. It's only $20, like super cheap.
It reminds me of a less hard that game with the neon style that we played for Game Club or
Hyper Light Drifter.
Thank you. Yep. It was like a less hard version of that.
Very much so. That's where I was thinking a bunch, where it's like, man, this like deliberate combat and kind of the no directions exploration, like that reminded me a lot of that, where it's like, all right, you're in this world, like you got 3 directions you can go. Let's start figuring it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Besides signs telling you where to go, there's like very little explanation on what's happening. It's just you figure it out.
Oh, one of my favorite little touches in this game too is reading a sign and then chopping it and reading the sign again, and the like half of the text box has been chopped off, which is really good.
That game kind of screwed me on one thing, because I was actually trying to use it to figure out where I needed to go, and I blew it up fighting something else.
Oh, no.
So I only got like all the bottom letters. I'm like, all right, let me find a door, come back, so I can figure out if this is where I need to go.
That's great. All right, Nimp, what's next on your list then?
All right, I have The Tourist.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if my son heard Moon talking about it or what, but he started playing it, and he was telling me I should start playing it. And then I had seen someone posted in Discord or something that, hey, this game's going to be out of Game Pass yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fine. I'll start it up Friday just to kind of check it out. And then everything I was seeing online was like, oh, it's just like a hour, maybe 2 hour long game. And the achievements are supposed to be,
if you want to do everything.
Yeah, well, yeah. With the achievements, it's like 5 hours. I'm like, all right, cool.
I got 5 hours, sure.
Yeah, so my son and I start playing it. He was a little further along than I was, and I got into it and started playing it. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's just try to get all the achievements. I think it had like a 3 out of 10 score or something like that. And this put me in 2 mindsets of how I feel about this game. The game itself, really fun. I really liked the way it looked. I really enjoyed playing it.
Mm-hmm.
The achievements for this game are god awful.
Oh no.
And it's not. The mini games are a lot of the issue for me. And my son was having the same exact problems I was, where there's one of the achievements is you have to get 100% on your to-do list, and one of the to-do list things is that you have to basically get a high score at these 3 machines in the arcade.
Okay. Which one was the toughest one?
F-Zero knockoff one.
I thought the Dynamite collecting one was the worst. Honestly, though, as soon as I saw the F-Zero one, I kind of lost my ass. I was just like, "Oh, dude, it's like F-Zero. It's sick."
Yeah. So there's an F-Zero one, a brick attack one, basically, and the dynamite one that he was just talking about. You basically jump around, you're collecting dynamite while these enemies are kind of walking around the screen and coming after you here and there. And then eventually, like, this little gold orb will show up, and if you get that, you can do like the Pac-Man thing of you can just touch the enemies and then you get extra points.
Oh, nice.
All that fun stuff. The F-Zero one was the one that was screwing us up because you have to, for you to get points, I think it was like 4,500 points that you need to get. It's determined by, you just have to race the track. You have 30 seconds to start, I think, and then each checkpoint that you hit, it adds 10 seconds. But it's set up like an actual arcade thing where it's like if you don't play a perfect run, you're not hitting that next checkpoint.
Oh, I see.
And if you don't hit that checkpoint with a certain amount of time left, you're not making it to the other checkpoint.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, okay, there's got to be, like, I played it like over 25 times trying to get this. And I think the closest I got the first time was 4,090, and my son got like 4,099. And like that was just our ceiling. We couldn't get higher than that.
Oh, wow.
I was like, all right, cool. Let's look online and see what everyone has to say about it. There's got to be something that, you know, we're just not paying attention to, or some way to shortcut it or whatever. The internet, in its almighty wisdom, just says, don't fall off the track. Play the game.
Get good.
Yeah,
cool,
exactly.
Thanks, bros.
Yep. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are worse than worthless right now. I know that there's a trick to this stupid thing.
Right.
And so I keep playing it. And I had found out, okay, if you don't take, there's boosts on the ground, just like with F-Zero. And there's also a vertical boost. The first vertical boost, don't take that. That way you can take the regular road boost all the way through. That'll cut your time down some. The thing that I had also figured out that apparently nobody else on the internet bothered to mention at all was that I think it's the third vertical boost in. If you take that, you can cut off of the track because it kind of takes a wide right turn. So you can jump across to the other side of the track, but
gotcha.
It's like real touchy.
Some boo house business.
Yeah, you have to be spot on to get this, and you have to pivot turn real quick because you're going, keeping with cardinal directions, you're going north. The track is going east. So it's like you have to land and you have to turn to stay on the track. And I figured this out, tried it 2 or 3 times, and I finally got it. Like I think I was at like 44,600 or something like that. I'm like, cool. Screw this game, because I spent like 2 hours just this one arcade thing in this game. Put my controller down. I go out because I'm like, hey, you know, this is what I did. And just as I was about to go out there to let him know what I did, he comes up to me. He's like, I just got it. I'm like, all right, cool. And we're like, you know, exchanging notes. I was like, what did you do? And he basically figured out the same thing I did.
Nice.
Like, all right, cool. On to the next thing. So I did the brick attack one. That wasn't too hard. The dynamite one was kind of a pain. But once I started getting a flow at that, it was like the next time I started figuring out the timing for everything, I got it on the next one, no problem. And then from there, there's a mine shaft thing that you have to do where you have to get all the way down to level 10. This in itself isn't hard. It's kind of just fighting with the camera because you can only turn the camera 90 degrees. You can either turn it 90 degrees right or left. That's it. Normally not an issue. The biggest issue I was having with this thing is that you can throw a rope over the edge and your character can climb down it. And I was having a lot of issues where I would throw the rope, I would go to climb down it, and my character would just jump off the ledge.
Great.
For no reason. Would work
Sweet release.
every time I needed it, except for like 1 or 2 times. So that took forever to get. I then moved on to like all the other fun stuff, which everything else wasn't hard. It's just simple fetch quests like, hey, I need 3 coconuts, or I need you to find a watermelon, or take pictures of this, whatever. That was all easy stuff. The one that I had saved for last because I thought it was going to be the biggest pain in the butt was the surfing minigame.
Hey, do you remember California Games on the Mega Drive?
Yeah.
Sorry, the Genesis.
Yep.
It's that.
Great. That's a great game.
One minigame I'm going to get back to, but I'm skipping for right now. But basically, yeah, it's all that with surfing. It actually wasn't that hard at all. It took me a little bit to figure out what I had to, because you basically have to build up a speed meter. Your goal is to get, I think it was 10,000 points in this, and then you get a bunch of money or whatever, which at this point I didn't care. But the achievement that's tied to it is you have to do a 540 and land it, and that automatically wins you the surfing competition. So you have to do all these tricks to build up your speed meter, so that way you can get high enough when you jump off the wave, so that way you can do the trick. And it took me a little bit, but the one that I thought that was going to be the hardest actually turned out to be the simplest one, which was great.
Oh, nice.
The actual hardest one for me was the stupid drum beat thing on Fiji Island, I think it's called, or whatever, where you just have to hit left trigger, right trigger as it scrolls across the screen. For some reason, I was having like all kinds of problems with it. I don't know if the battery, like I swapped out the batteries in my controller thinking it was dying because it just was not taking like my button presses in. And I was getting legitimately mad. That was the reason why I looked up Moon and the app to see if he wanted to play anything, and then saw that he was playing Destiny 2. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll play something else, because I needed a break because I was getting mad. So I ended up turning in at that point in the night, because I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This is like, I'm so fuming at this stupid game. And at this point, I was like, I think I'm just not even going to try to get the rest of the achievements. And then Saturday morning, I turn it on and get it first try.
There it is.
So I was so glad to get everything. Got all the achievements. So I've got a 10 out of 10 on that. Deleted the game off my console. I was done. My wife was sitting in here working on something. I got the last achievement. I was like, awesome. F this. Delete.
Nice.
About an hour later, my son comes in and he starts talking about, hey, the ending of the game was really cool and blah, blah, blah. And then it hits me. I didn't actually beat the game. I just got all the achievements.
You got all the achievements and you didn't beat the game.
So I had to reinstall the game.
Oh, no.
So I could beat the game. Like I had everything. All I had to do was go to this last location, give the last item, and then end credits. That was literally all I had to do. But I was so done with this stupid game after getting all the achievements.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the Tourist. Like I said, it was a fun game if you don't try to get all achievements.
Jeez.
Already talking about
the ending, by the way.
I actually thought it was really cool. I would enjoy having if they made a second game, I would enjoy having a second one of these, but they really need to look at their control scheme a little bit, because like even some of the story, but like when you were doing the orbs of light that were free floating that you had to jump on top of,
that was so hard.
Yeah, just because it's hard to see where you're at, because you play the game on like a 2D field at this point, and like I said, you can still rotate the camera 90 degrees, but it's only one time right, one time left. So it's hard for you to try to get your character in a 3D space when you're only looking at it in a 2D window, basically, to try to get them on top of this ball that then rotates, and then you have to jump onto like these other 7 balls so that you can unlock this thing. And yeah. But other than that, though, yes, it was enjoyable, and I would enjoy seeing a second game. They just kind of have to fine-tune the controls a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or it could have completely have been my batteries were dying. I don't know, but but yeah. Next game that I played, Disgaea 6.
Did you play it?
Yes, I did play it.
You go.
Sure.
Oh, there's tons of auto battling happening, but no, I played this portion of it while it's sitting in the background leveling up my guys.
Right.
I'm in episode 11 out of 15 right now.
Oh, nice.
Usually I'll have it do like auto battle for me, like when I'm doing dishes or something like that. That way, hey, here's a half hour or some change that it's doing something for me. That way I can go back in and grind it out the way I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more just like the pointless grinding of, I just need karma so that way I can do stuff in the Dark Assembly. I don't want to sit here for 45 minutes grinding out just karma. So I've let that run. I have now figured out, I guess, like how a God of Destruction has been made, kind of. and what
Okay.
the backstory is behind that. And I am doing, let's see, I've got my characters are in between 4,000 and 5,000 for levels. I'm doing like millions of points of damage at this point in time. And I just need to beat the game because I'm pretty sure, like the past games, once you beat the story, that's when you start unlocking extra things and extra characters that you can make and start building up. And that's when the real game starts. Because right now I could start doing item world, but anything that I would pull and try to level up isn't worth it right now because there's like real end game stuff that you can get that would be worth the time and the hassle to get them leveled up. So I'm just kind of digging around with all the systems right now. I've got so many characters right now, but there's not, like, I feel like I'm missing a bunch of characters, like classes, because I've got like, there's a warrior, there's like a ninja, there's a monk, there's a cleric, but they used to split it where there would be a priest and a cleric. The priest would usually be like a male character and the cleric would be a female. They don't have a cleric anymore. They pulled out... See, I just got Android, so they've got that in there. A bunch of like the monster classes, those aren't in there anymore right now. So I'm guessing a lot of this is like post-story. Hey, here's the rest of the characters that you can make. So I'm just trying to get to that point to see what else I unlock. But yeah, really enjoying it. Really loving the auto battler. Saved me a lot of time.
Yeah.
There would be no way that I would already have 87 hours in the game right now.
Right.
Time for another intervention.
Yeah.
As long as I can auto through it, you can have all the interventions you want.
That's right. That's right.
Last game that I played this week was Scarlet Nexus. This is another one that I'm about halfway through. I think there's 12 chapters per character, per both characters, and I'm on chapter 7 right now. I have found out about human heads.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
Because this game goes into weird, disturbing places.
I love sci-fi RPGs so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure a bunch of people listening and be like, "Oh God, oh no, oh he found out, he figured it out. Oh no."
Crap, I can't think of the name. The old sci-fi movie about like the green liquid that everyone consumes to keep themselves alive.
Soylent Green?
Yes.
Yes.
Like along those lines.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is this, Xenogears? Hey-o.
So, not to that effect. It's not like everyone's... It's just weird and weird.
Right. I don't want to spoil it. It's still too new.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just weird what's happening right now. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's still a fun game. Really enjoying it. I just wish I had more time in the day to play all these 50 to 100 hour JRPGs that I enjoy.
Man, tell me about it, man. Yeah.
Not to mention that like Tales of Arise is coming out next month.
Oh, I didn't realize that was so
in
soon.
August right now. So crap. I got to hurry up and beat a bunch of things so that way I'm ready for that.
Yeah, boy.
That's all I've been playing this week.
All right. I haven't talked about the 4-Drop Fiesta lately, so let's catch up on that real quickly. Finished run 3. That was Berserker, Beastmaster, Summoner, Beastmaster. I hesitate to come up with a run that's more miserable than that one. That was brutal. I mean, the Summoner is the only reason I managed to beat that in any form or fashion. That was real rough. I was complaining about that run on the Discord server, and Monkey Senior had the good idea of, why don't you run a popular run? And popular runs are essentially, it gives you classes that people either favor or come up more often. So I said, I don't think I've ever done one of those. Let's do that. So for my 4th run, I got a White Mage, Black Mage, Blue Mage, and Bard. I don't think I've beat that game any faster than that run. It's one of the easiest runs I've ever had in this game. I think it was maybe a 10-hour run. Like it's in one of those, it's like Luis just knocking stuff over. See you later, jerks. It's essentially like with the blue mage, if you can't one-shot a boss, with the black mage, you will absolutely be able to destroy them with magic. So like it was just obscenely strong. So finished that, started my 5th run, and this is where the luck pendulum swings to the other end. I did another chaos run. I got Ranger, Thief, Geomancer, Dragoon, which is... This is the run that broke me. I'm just like, I started this and I'm like, I don't know if I can have this combination. I have no magic, I have no damage, I have no utility, I can't break any of the bosses. It's a truly really rough run. So I thought, I'll job fair it. So for anyone that hasn't played the 4-Job Fiesta, there's something called a job fair in there. And it's essentially, if you don't like one of your jobs or any of your jobs, you can go and have the Twitter bot give you brand new jobs that you dictate. So I thought this will be a good opportunity for me to run a bunch of classes that I either haven't run before or haven't run in a really long time. So I re-rolled. You're required to make a donation if you use the job fair. I donated my money, and I got Knight, Ninja, Ranger, Samurai. So far it's kind of an interesting run that is kind of heavy on damage and little else. I don't know if I've run a Knight in the Fiesta before over the last like 10 years, so that's been kind of fun. So I'm in the middle of doing that run now. And Final Fantasy V's just been like a really great chilling at the end of the day kind of thing, and I've been really appreciating it.
Have you messed with the Final Fantasy V mobile version that came out, or is it still the GBA?
It's still the GBA. The 4, 5, and 6 pixel remasters haven't come out yet. They're slated for end of this year. Yeah, just the first 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Risk of Rain. I finished it.
Yeah.
I've drowned the worlds. The horrors.
You are welcome.
Thank you. That was the tip. Took me a couple of runs to kind of get a build that was kind of set up in the right way to punch-size those guys off of the cliff. I think I needed like 5 more. So I was like 3/4 of the way there. Punched those guys off, and now I'm done. So I thought, hey man, I should play some Risk of Rain 2.
No.
I ran a run of that. I haven't played in a while. I haven't played since the anniversary update came out, so there's way more stuff in this game, including an ending, which I have never seen before. Spoilers for Risk of Rain 2 upcoming here.
You don't count the game over screen as the ending?
Usually, yes. Well, when Risk of Rain 2 originally launched, you just kind of kept going until you died. There wasn't like unlike the first one, there wasn't an end boss or like an end level or anything. They put that in later. And I haven't played since they put that in. Spoilers for the ending. What the hell? Like the end boss of the first Risk of Rain is pretty difficult, but if you can get to that last level, you're usually pretty fine.
I disagree with that. It depends on your build.
It for sure does, but like if you can get to that boss, and especially if you're getting to that level, you're usually pretty okay, and you can kind of farm that last level for a while.
At least have a chance.
Yeah, you at least have a chance. I don't know what they were thinking about the end boss of Risk of Rain 2. The boss is way faster than you are, way stronger than you are. I was playing the Huntress, so like I'm already pretty strong, and pretty fast. Spawning an incredible amount of ads. It's a 3 or 4 phase fight where he continues to get faster and stronger each wave. And he's just like knocking you into the stratosphere, which you take fall damage, which sucks.
At any point, did Latin start playing in the music there? Or?
I didn't have the sound on. I wouldn't doubt it. It's like a Sephiroth fight. Like they just licensed that track.
Final form.
Oh, it's so frustrating. And then once you beat him, I was like, great, I'm all done. A timer shows up on screen. You have 2.5 minutes until this planet explodes. He was like, great, okay, I guess I will find my way off of this planet. Oh, there's the ship that was locked earlier. I can take that. You hop in the ship. Whoops. You got to guard the ship until it fuels up to 100%. It's really frustrating. Like, I beat it by the skin of my teeth, but it was one of those things where it's like, this is maybe not fun. I'm sure it's much more manageable playing co-op, which I feel has sort of been one of Risk of Rain 2's core problems since its early access. Is like, this is pretty hard. Here's another person. Yeah, this is pretty easy. It feels like Risk of Rain 1 was still pretty hard if you were solo, but I felt like it wasn't impossible. This still feels really brutal. So Risk of Rain 2 is still really good. It just, I feel like a little bit of the wind has been knocked out of my sails after fighting that final boss, where it's like, I don't know if I want to do this again. And that was just on Drizzle, the easiest difficulty. Like, I don't even want to think about Monsoon is the middle one? Hurricane? I don't remember what the other ones are. They're all rain puns. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of characters. I think there's like 10 characters now. I think they put artifacts in finally. So like there's a bunch of stuff in there now, but yeah, man, I don't know. Anyways, next game. Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster. Decided to scoop this bad boy up. This one is hard to talk about because for every good that is in this game, there is a bad, but most of the bads are fine. So like, the game looks really great. Like the pixel art for everything looks super good.
Which
enemies
version did you get?
I got
or
a
what
PC,
did you pick it up on?
a PC.
Okay.
Mostly due to the font, which we will definitely talk about here shortly.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and also like, I think it was on like a launch sale on Steam for like $9 or something, and the mobile version is like 12. Oh, a mobile version doesn't have controller support either. What? What? Come on. Yes, so I bought it on PC. So like, all the enemies look great. Your main characters look great. The backgrounds look fantastic. I am also seeing some screen tearing when I have it full screen, which is really weird, and just a weird thing to say. You put it in borderless full screen, or like window full screen, no screen tearing. It's fine. But
it's the curse of JRPGs, man. It's something to do with that borderless and full window on every JRPG on PC.
And it's also the curse of like Square Enix touching an old Final Fantasy game where it's like, oh, 99% of it is great, except for this one glaring thing. So it's an easy enough fix. It's not a big issue. But the flip side to the pixel art looking really great is there are occasionally like some 3D effects, like the sort of the famous little water fountain in the middle of the first town. Like there's some 3D effects in there, and it's like, that looks really weird. Like that's way out of place for the rest of this stuff, but not a big deal. They also changed. There's a dancing woman in the very first town. If you ever get lost, she's now the hint system in the game. Okay. So she's like, oh man, what would happen if you like got in your ship and sailed all the way west? Weird. And it's like, okay, I guess that's my next up. Because if you haven't played Final Fantasy 1, there literally after you beat the first boss and go across that bridge to the north, that's it. Like you got to figure it out. Like, You got the 4 crystals, go nuts. The soundtrack is incredible. They have managed to... I was worried that it was going to be orchestrated, because with Square, like, it's really hit and miss when they kind of reorchestrate stuff. But they've kept it to like kind of a modern chiptune style, and it sounds incredible. Like every single track I've run into sounds flawless. It's exactly what you would want. There's an auto battle in there, which works really well because you're going to be grinding your butt off in this game, and it's an auto battle that remembers the last thing you did, which is perfect. The thing that they really impressed on people when they, and I didn't fully think about this one, is they're remastering or remaking the original game, not the Game Boy Advance one. It's not the mobile one or the PSP one, any of that. So there's no MP in this game. They have reverted to the spell charge system, so it's back to its D&D roots, which is a big growing pain for someone who hasn't played Final Fantasy 1 in like 25 years.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. Also, a friendly reminder for anyone that hasn't played Final Fantasy 1. Tents and the inn do not bring enemies or party members back to life. You have to go to the church to resurrect them.
Revive.
And then they come back to life with 1 HP. So do all of that stuff in the right order. Not speaking from experience.
Did they fix the revive costs? Because I know in the originals it was like if you lost a party member, it was going to be a while before you get the money back. I think it was like 2,000 gold or something like that.
No, it's way less than that. I think it was in the first town, resting in the inn was like 30 gold, and reviving when I had to do it was like 50. Like it was well within the normal realm.
I just remember it being soul crushing the first time I had to revive a character, and it's like, well, I guess I will only have this character for the next
have
2 hours.
3 for a while. Yeah. So that stuff feels fine. It feels great. They fixed obviously they have fixed the if anyone didn't play the original NES version of Final Fantasy 1, if all 4 of your characters attacked one enemy and the enemy died, the other people would attack just a blank space that had no enemy in it. It would never pass to the next enemy. They fixed that, thankfully. That's like Final Fantasy 1 101 for stuff you fix. The level cap looks like it's been increased to 100, which is really great. The new level up screen is really, really good. It very clearly tells you, here's your level has gone from 9 to 10. Your HP has gone from X to Y. Same with strength, agility, luck, all that stuff. It's really clear about what a level up means. It's much better. Look, the font is still bad. I'm playing it on my 55-inch TV, and I'm sitting relatively at a good distance. It's readable. It's still not good. It's still super squished and all on top of each other. Scott White over at RPG Site found a way to fix the font, which was replace the English font files with the Japanese ones, and hey, look, it's a readable font now, which is wild. Those Japanese fonts, by the way, are just in the Steam folder. Like, they just... It's wild. I actually just replaced the font earlier today with the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest font, which fits really nicely. Go check out Twitter for that. That worked really, really nicely. I don't think it's unreadable like it looks like in the screenshots, but it's still really bad. It's just a bad font. So unfortunately, we have to do a little bit of work to fix it.
That's the problem, though. Really, I mean,
that's the core of the problem. Is like, at least just give us an option for like multiple fonts. You got the fonts there. Try and figure out a way to wire it up. But knowing Square, this game will probably never get patched, so it's on us.
Yeah. Or they'll patch it to disable you guys from fixing the font and
yeah, exactly. And it's
default.
like Square, jeez. There are 8-way controls in this, which I always find really weird in like the old classic Final Fantasy games. Previously, in previous versions, you've been able to turn it off. You can't in this one, which not a make or break thing for me. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, still weird, but okay. I'm just like, let's get you to bed, Grandpa, sort of thing, which I recognize. They do a per region bestiary and chest tracking now, like treasure tracking. So not only do you get to see how many chests in an area or in a dungeon you have found, but you also get to see how many of the enemies in that area that you've run into and defeated. And when you go look in the bestiary in the game, you get to look at the world map and sort of navigate the world map from like a top-down sort of god view, and it'll show enemies from the bestiary on the map, where it's like, hey, if you're looking for this specific dude, it spawns in this area. That's kind of where they wander around. So that'll be nice. That'll be very helpful for Final Fantasy V, for all you Blue Mage fans over there. That'll be very nice. The mini-map in towns is really great, because it will show an icon on the mini-map of like, here's the White Mage shop, here's the item shop, here's the weapon shop. So you can immediately look at the minimap and be like, okay, I don't have to explore this whole dumb river town. I can just go up here to the upper left, and that's where the inn is. So far, I think I've played like an hour and a half, maybe almost 2 hours. And I'm approaching the what's that second dungeon? The Marsh Cave, that whole storyline. So I've seen Matoya. I have this. This game's hilarious because in the first hour, you're like, oh, I took down Garland, no big deal. I fought these pirates. I have a ship. And in like another hour, here's a canoe, here's an airship. Like it dumps this stuff on you pretty quickly. And the main reason I'm sort of at that point after about 2 hours is because Final Fantasy 1 is still hard. Like, it is still a game that you need to farm up for, and you can't just heal through everything because your White Mage doesn't have that many spell charges. So, like, you can't go too far away from town before you got to rest up and get those 4 or 5 charges back.
Yeah,
just draw them from the enemies again, dude. Come on.
Don't even tease me. Just... There's been this, like, wave of people asking for a Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 demake. And I was like, yeah, man, you wanna make a 2D Final Fantasy 8?
Oh,
I would play that.
Oh,
hell yeah! Let's talk about the good stuff. Yeah,
give me an 8D make and I'll be down for that.
Yeah,
dude,
for
imagine
sure.
the pixelated cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cards.
The cards, Mason.
Just you talking about the triple triad makes me want to hate that game again.
Yeah, it's so good. But yes,
by hate, do you secretly mean love?
That's right.
Dude, it was great until I figured out the rule system, and I was like, man, this sucks.
Yeah. Or just be like me and don't interact with it at all, and don't play a triple triad at all.
It was just trying to, once you look up a walkthrough on how to get a decent rule set to go through the rest of the world.
Oh God.
It's like a good 2 to 4 hours.
Right. On a windy
tasks.
Tuesday where
it's the dumbest thing ever.
But so far, Final Fantasy 1 seems really great. It seems like a really, really great version. I know a bunch of people that have already finished it so far, and their recommendations so far are like, yo, this is the version of Final Fantasy 1 you play. I will probably go through and play Final Fantasy 2. I don't want to because the game sucks. But like, I hear this version smooths out a lot of the issues. I love Kawazu's games a lot. I love the Saga games a lot. Final Fantasy 2 is like really the predecessor to the Saga games, so the Saga games are mean in general in a way that I really love and appreciate. The original version of this was mean in like an obtuse, weird way. But I'm also very excited to play 3 because I like 3 a lot. But I don't think I've ever finished the original version, and this is based on the Famicom version, not the impossibly difficult DS version. Yeah. Which the 3DS version, the version was totally fine. I had no problems with that except for the entirety of the final dungeon. And I've heard this version is really good, so I'm excited to play that. And I'm just biding my time until they put Final Fantasy V out so I can go get what's essentially the Steam Platinum for that, because shock of all shocks, there are easily portable trophy or achievements in this. I almost said trophies. That's weird. In this version, including a achievement that just says, "Hey, get all the rest of the achievements in this game." That's weird. I don't know what other platform does that. That's odd. Anyways, Final Fantasy 1 is so far really good. It looks great. It sounds great. It plays great. It has the quality of life stuff that I think you would want out of a remaster like this, like a remake, without kind of compromising, here is the NES game that you remember, sort of for better or for worse. So, excited. I haven't played Final Fantasy 1 in a very long time, so I'm kind of excited going back into it and be like, yeah, where do I go next? Okay, I'll sail around. Cool. So... All right, moving on. I was going to purchase Fuga Memories of Steel. This is, if anyone has heard of the Sotala Robo series, I don't remember what the other games are in this series. This is CyberConnect's most recent strategy RPG thing. I was gonna purchase this. It was on every platform for $40. It was on PS4, PS5 for $57.01. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. And then hours later, it disappeared from the store completely. They wrote on their Twitter account like, hey, funny story, pricing problems. It will be up later. Don't you worry about it. It's still not up. So I am hoping to play that whenever it is released back on the PlayStation platforms, hopefully soon, because it looks really great. But in the meantime, I have been playing The Ascent. If you've listened to the show lately, Moon and I have been excited to play this co-op with each other. It's on Game Pass. We both have Series X's. Whoops, co-op is not what you want. It turns out that only the host's story progression counts, not for both people. Why?
What year is it again, Boston?
2021. Look, this is a small team. This is their first game. There are a lot of things I'm going to sort of hand wave in this game. That's really frustrating for a 20-hour RPG that supports co-op. I get it. It's hard to make games, but I just want to play this with my friends, man. Especially with it being on Game Pass. That's really frustrating. That out of the way, I like The Ascent a lot, and I feel like very few people are going to like this game. I think you should try it, and I think you should stick with it. If anyone back in the 90s on PC played Crusader No Remorse or Crusader No Regret, you're going to like this game a lot. The 3 other people that are listening to this game that played it.
I literally have no idea what you just said, dude.
Yeah, Origin Systems made it, and EA published it. Warren Spector produced it. It was a huge influence on the Fallout team for them making Fallout 1 and 2. But it is a little bit rough. So The Ascent is a twin stick shooter RPG. It has a loot system, but it's not I picked up a blue and that's better than a green. I picked up a purple and that's better than a blue. There's no rarity or anything. You're just picking up new pieces of equipment that are probably stronger or support a different build than the ones you're currently using. So that's kind of nice. I think Number one, it looks incredible. I think it's hands down one of the best looking games on a current gen platform right now. It is astoundingly good looking. I'm playing it on Series X. I hear the load times on the Xbox One are rough, but it's fine. It looks great. It plays great. I feel like if this game isn't clicking for you in the first couple hours, I really recommend sticking with it, because there's like a story beat at some point where you kind of get a whole bunch of stuff all at once that powers up your character, and like more biotics start dropping at that point, so you can start doing a lot more interesting stuff with your powers. Because up until that point, it's like, here's a handgun, here's a machine gun, I don't have a lot of powers, really. I have this hacking power, but it doesn't really hack anything. At around that point, I, like, have a little robot that's a turret that will hurt the enemies, and I can throw out this grenade that heals in an area, and I have this giant dude with a shield that I call from the internet, and he comes and attacks my enemies. Instead of dodge rolling, I just phase through walls and objectives and stuff. Like, very quickly, I'm doing some really cool stuff. And I'm getting into guns that have different elements on them now. So I have guns that shoot fire that do a lot of damage to humanoid enemies. I have guns that shoot like arc charges that do a ton of damage to mechanical enemies. And I'm starting to get more side quests. I'm starting to get more exploration stuff. I'd say if you're not clicking with it for the first little bit, like, stick with it, kind of hang out. It has a little bit of a rough start. It also, I feel badly saying this as plainly as I'm going to say it, it has one of the stories I care the least about in the last couple of years. Like, every character you meet at the beginning of the game really assumes that you are reading the codex along with them, because the beginning of the story, you're what's called an indent. It's essentially an indentured servant, and the corporation that owns your area of this planet has gone bankrupt and has essentially cut you guys loose to do with your sector what you wish. So there's this like big power play between a bunch of seedy bosses and stuff to try and, but like every line of dialogue in this game has like at least one like cyberpunky phrase and term in it, and it just, they dump so much of it at you at the beginning. I'm just mashing the A button, and I never do this in games. Like, I'm the dude who's like, oh, you don't even know about the fixers? Well, 15 hours ago they talked about. I'm mashing the A button through this. Like, there's so much text in here that's so like navel gazy about its own lore. That's just. And the codex, like, every codec has, like, pages and pages of text in it. I can't do it. I just want to go shoot some robots, man. And now I have samurais.
Wait until you start playing some Warhammer 40k games.
Oh,
now
yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Oh, man, yeah. I want to go shoot a bunch of samurai, that like digital samurai that keep cloaking themselves. It looks super cool. I'm, like, I'm counter-hacking enemies that are hacking their counterparts and healing them, and I turned their healing bot onto me, and now it's healing me. Like, this game is dope. It's super cool, and I feel like it actually captures the cyberpunk aesthetic really well. It's that like haves and have-nots sort of thing where you're a slave in the system, so you are like all the way at the bottom of this planet, and it's bad down there. Man, like, it looks beautiful. There's a ton of neon and everything looks great, but like, you're definitely not in a place where people have money. And it's really cool. I think you should try the Ascent. It's on Game Pass for PC and Xbox right now. I think it's only $30 on other platforms. I really recommend trying it out. I'm having a blast. It's like I played a lot of it this week. I thought it was coming out on Tuesday, but it came out on Thursday, and I've already played a bunch of it. I really recommend checking it out. I really highly recommend trying it. Stick with it for a while. Based on what I'm seeing on people online, read the tutorials as they come up. It's a twin stick shooter, not a first person shooter. You don't need to. Holding the left trigger raises your gun above your head and shoots at enemies, but it will also shoot above enemies' heads if you're raising your gun up. So maybe keep that in mind and read the tutorials. But so far, it's really solid. The RPG stuff feels pretty good. The loot system is a little bit confusing because it keeps impressing upon you that, like, you pick up everything. But if you upgrade a gun, don't worry about it. All the guns will be upgraded. Like, if you pick up this, one of the assault rifles I've been using has been called Dread. So I'm, like, upgrading that as I go along. And, like, every copy of that gun I pick up is also upgraded. And you're encouraged to sell off all the extra guns you have, but there's no, like, really easy way to do that. It's very much this team's first game. But so, like, all this stuff is, like, a little bit, like, it has some rough edges on kind of a lot of stuff in the game, but I think when it clicks, it all comes together really nicely. So go check it out. I think the Ascent has been really good, and I'm kind of, like, actively itching to go downstairs and keep playing it. When I'm
planning on starting that one this week, so
yeah. Pro tip here, I finally found out the progression bug I've been running into. I was running into this bug where I would go into an area and it would show, like, a cutscene where a boss would spawn, and there's just nobody. And, like, you can hit up on the D-pad and it'll show you this essentially, like, dead space line of where you're supposed to go. It would show me, like,
line?
Yeah, it'd show me over to this, like, locked door. I'm like, there should be enemies here. There's nobody here. I finally found out if I'm playing the game and I have it paused and I let my controller go to sleep, as soon as I wake up my controller and resume the game from the pause menu, like, no enemies spawn at that point. So if you're gonna if you're gonna put your controller down, the autosave is really generous. It saves really often, and it'll tell you, like, oh, I saved the game like 5 seconds ago. Just, like, close out, like, go back to the main menu, go back in, enemies will spawn. Rough edges. But yeah, I'm sure Moon and I will talk about it more next week. But go check it out. It's been good so far. And that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break.
Yep.
I want to grab some water real quick.
Okie doke. I don't think Moon can get up because of Louise. Yeah. She's so in love with you, man.
I'm telling you, dude. Always has been.
Yep. Need a little bit of room to roam. That's it.
You comfy there? I can see you purring.
I was going to say, she's probably just, like, sitting there with her eyes closed purring.
They open a little bit. Come on. Can't sit on my arm that way. Because
Cosmic Cow, I love drinking from a mason jar. It's like, I like drink like a camel, so it's like, it's just enough water for me. Like, I can't have this little cup or a glass. One sip and I'm done. Thirsty.
What you're saying is the whole
hungry
for you to get your mouth around.
That's right. Oh boy, good times. Oh man, yeah. I just fired up the Twitch stream for the Olympics, and they were playing, like, a soccer game on stream, and I was just like, wait, what? It's like, that's not what are you doing?
Wait, they were playing a video game, soccer game? Or?
Yeah, on the NBC Olympic stream, and I was just like, wait, so I'm firing it up now to see what they're doing. I mean, there's going to be breaks between events and stuff. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, soccer. Wait a minute. Wait.
Well, it's in the middle of a break right now. It's called the triathlon, which is spelled try.
Triathlon, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's see what they're gonna do. Having a stream, watching another stream. I really love, because of the lockdowns and everything, it's just 4 people commentating on the Olympics from their bedrooms. Like I really, like, unabashedly, I love this.
It sucks for the friends and family kind of thing, and especially that lady who was like, "Yeah, you can leave your baby at home, or you can go and stay there with them, or you can come to the Olympics." It's like, no, that's an exception. Come on,
Right? Like, yeah.
but
I'll leave that on.
I'm not gonna lie, like I did absolutely adore seeing Tony Hawk running the skateboarding course. Like when they, I think, because skateboarding like was really early at this Olympics.
It felt like it was like day 2.
Yeah, so like Tony Hawk does a run on the course, and he's like got a photo of himself, and he's like obligatory Japan Air while in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Oh man,
that's good.
No, I did get water, dime bag.
There you go. Oh yeah, Dimebag's saying that I'm saying it's just water. Wink, wink. Like, please, I am such a lightweight. Like, if I was drinking, you'd know. I'd just be like, "Woo, what's up, video games?"
I could go for good whiskey right now, and my wife was showing me her Dutch oven that she just bought. And that thing's fucking heavy.
Yeah, those things are intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, what voxel based thing are the Olympics? What voxel based thing is the Olympics stream from NBC playing right now? Just the wildest thing.
I've just got 4 dudes in the square. Well, sorry, 3 dudes and a lady.
Yeah, they just showed something, some footage of some game. I really want them to play that Tokyo game that you guys have been playing.
Yeah, and watch Sonic in there, yeah? Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You mean Sonic the Star of 2 Point Hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen those screenshots of, like, Sonic the Hedgehog is Freddie Mercury's psychiatrist? It's like, yes, now you're getting 2 Point Hospital. You figured it out. Oh, they're playing Minecraft. Okay. I see. I got it. I should have figured that. Yep, you fell off.
That's my top Louise.
Okay. Are you guys ready to do the second part of this episode?
No, dude, I'm watching the Minecraft Olympics now. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm watching the Olympics, sir. See, Jimbo Jangles likes the
It's like highlights.
Yeah, what the heck?
They're taking the
my
weird
favorite thing. It's like on a private server, so it's not even base Minecraft.
I like that they're taking the weird Olympics and making it weirder.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say, too, where Twitch is concerned, it has become more and more difficult to find people playing video games than it is women in hot tubs that they've inflated in their living rooms.
But I think along with the hot tub category, I think Twitch did the smart thing where you can block entire categories. I think that was a really smart change. Yeah, so it's like, I don't want to see music. I don't want to see hot tubs. I don't want to see IRL or creative. Like, you can really block some of these really, like, high level categories that aren't anything. Like, I am so tired of firing up Twitch when I am editing, and like, this is no shade to anyone. I'm tired of firing up Twitch when I'm editing the show. I like to have like a stream in the background. And it's just like pages and pages of DJs playing music. And I was like, I need to just block that category.
Don't you do your names like dirty?
That's right. Oh man.
No offense, get away from me with VTubers as well, please.
I have a real soft spot for VTubers. But I don't watch any of them. No, I sort of like semi-watch one. But like, the problem I have with VTubers is the problem that I have with any, bless you, the problem I have with any large streamers is that the community becomes too
Toxic shit.
Not even toxic, just like too attached to them. Like, I think VTubers are really great because I think it gives people who wouldn't normally stream like a facade to hide behind that hopefully increases their confidence. I think that's really great. I think there's just the community for some of these are just like, oh, you didn't watch all of the YouTube archives, so you don't get these jokes. And it's like, all right.
Especially with some people where they kind of have a bigger head.
Yeah.
And they let it known in the stream. And it's like, dude, you got like 100 people in your channel.
Right.
I'm like, fucking get over yourself.
Well, and there's some people that like I follow on Twitch that I like. I don't watch Twitch a lot in general, but I check in with some people every once in a while. But like there are a bunch of people that like I know have started out small and they're like now have 100 people watching them every time. And I'm like, that's incredible. Like I watched you a while ago and you had 5 people and this is great. But there's some people that are like king shit and they have like 15 people. Like, look, I usually have like point something people watching my stream every Friday. So like, don't think this is me being like, oh, I only had 1 million people this stream. Oh.
No, I mean, if you found an audience who will watch you, hey, cool, good on you. You know, it's a lot of hard work, especially to try to make a name for yourself streaming right now. Yeah. But dude, you're just a fucking streamer.
Yeah, like there's no need to be.
Nobody knows who you are, and nobody fucking cares.
Did you see that Clan FaZe clip where the 2 of the members of Clan FaZe like walked into a GameStop expecting to be recognized and like have the laurels rain down on them, and like the GameStop employee is like, "Hi, good afternoon, guys. How can I help you?" And they're just like, "You don't even know who I am?" And he's like, "No, man. I work at a GameStop. I'm just trying to help you. Please don't show this to my manager." Like, yeah. Good times. Okay. You guys ready?
Yep.
All
right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of August 2nd, 2021. Grime comes out on PC and Stadia. This is a game I actually only heard of today. Apparently it had a fairly famous demo, which is a bummer. I didn't play that. It's a Metroidvania, but it's apparently the whole thing is sort of like that one, I think Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. Instead of killing enemies, if you parry them, you can absorb them. And if you absorb enough of the same type of enemy, you permanently gain their benefits. Whether it's like a stat upgrade or skill or kind of an experience boost or something.
Kind of like the Soul Steal from one of the Castlevania games where you had to like absorb them a certain amount of times to get their magics.
That's just what I said, yes. Yeah, but yes, exactly. Yeah, just like that.
You're the one with the internet issues.
You're the one with the internet issue. We're all.
I heard both of you just fine.
I think it's just Skype. Here's the thing. Skype is 9 times out of 10. Skype is fine for us. 1 time out of 10, it's really bad. Discord has the reverse. 1 time out of 10, super clear. 9 times out of 10, just a choppy mess. So if you've ever wondered why we're still using Skype, it's the least bad, I guess.
Find us something better.
Right.
Semi-reliable.
That's right. I should probably just use... Go ahead.
I was going to say, everything's moving over to Teams.
Oh, God. Shoot me in the face.
You want to talk about a nightmare mess?
God. I would
almost swore.
Yeah, me too. Realistically, we should probably be using Zencaster for all of its other benefits, but it's not free, so whoops. But anyways, that's Grime. That looks pretty cool. The only other sort of major release here coming out this week is Lemnis Gate. I want to say that again. Lemnis Gate. That's fun to say. Coming out Xbox One, Series X, PS4, PS5, and PC. This is a team-based strategy kind of multiplayer FPS. I feel really badly for this game because I feel like there are 400 of those out at any given time every month. This one looks pretty cool, but is it going to beat Splitgate right now? Probably not, because
this is the Frontier one, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This one legitimately looks cool, but like Splitgate has been so popular they can't keep their servers up, so it's a little hard to beat something where it's like, hey, have you ever wanted to like shoot people through portals? And that's a cool selling point. But I think Lemniscate will. I think this game, it looks pretty cool, but I hope it finds its place in the marketplace. Fingers crossed.
It's developed by Ratloop Games Canada and is being published by Frontier.
So hold on. Number one, Ratloop Games is an incredible developer name. I also like that they are big enough that there are multiple Ratloop Games studios. I think that really tickles me. But yeah, I don't know. Lemniscate looks kind of cool, but this is like a genre that I don't really interact with too much because Destiny 2 has a season pass. So, you know, what else am I going to do? Let's go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I'm confused by this because the Lemniscate trailer description says it's turn-based. Sure doesn't look turn-based from the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by turn.
Is that a typo? They mean team?
Do they? Yeah, or do they mean round-based? Yeah, like when I saw that, when I saw like turn-based FPS strategy game, I was like, oh, hello, all right, yeah, we're getting some XCOM here. And I watched the trailer and I was like, that looks like a online shooter. Okay, so probably team-based. I think you figured it out, yeah, but yeah,
and
weird.
Also, this is an unlisted video, by the way, Boston. I'm just saying. What
Secrets
information have you got here?
IGN.com. That's where I found the trailer. Good times.
Also, full credit to the Splitsgate guys, whatever that game's called. Like, their transparency on Twitter has been fantastic.
Their
like,
transparency
hey,
of like,
we hired a server dude.
The transparency of like, please just like log out of the game for like 5 minutes. It's literally on fire. I beg of you, we gotta shut it down, please. You guys won't stop playing. Thank you so much. Oh god, the fire. That's great. Let's talk about our news story this week. Annapurna had their interactive showcase, and by interactive, I mean they put on a live stream. They showed off a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about the games. They talked about a bunch of partnerships they made, like with Ivy Road, No Code. I don't remember what her name was that made Sound Shapes. They announced a whole bunch of games, and they announced a whole bunch of partnerships. But we're just going to talk about the games. They showed off the Artful Escape, which I believe is the first time it's been shown off. This is a cool musical adventure game. Reminds me a lot of Oxenfree's style of kind of like narrative. But this guy decides to be someone else, and he says in the trailer he's going to make like the most complicated on-stage rock persona of all time. And the visuals they show from there look pretty incredible.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks like it would be very interesting to play high as hell.
Yes, that it looks real. It looks real great. Next, they show off more of Neon White. I don't think I really put together that this is the second game from the Donut County guy. So he said in the trailer, he said, Donut County was really a game like for both kids and adults alike, and I decided not to make another game for kids or adults. I decided to make a game for freaks. And this is that fast-paced FPS platformer shooter game in hell where you're picking up cards that if you use the card, it's a weapon, but if you discard the card, then it's an ability, like a movement ability. It looks really cool. It's only coming to PC and Switch, which is kind of a bummer. But showed off a ton of stuff there that looks he did like 2 runs of one level, one where he kind of does okay and he gets a bronze medal he does in like 14 seconds, and then the other one where he does like speedrun style and does it in like 8 seconds and change. It's like a significantly different game both ways. That game looks super cool. It seems like the between level stuff has gotten pretty crazy at this point.
So the art style looks pretty crazy too.
Yeah, it's kind of a very unique thing where it's like, yeah, I haven't really seen much that looks like that. Also, I appreciate that he made this after Donut County, where it's like, I had this cool little fun raccoon game. What about hell? It's like, all right, yeah, man, all right, let's do it. They showed off a new trailer for A Memoir Blue, which they call a stylish, magical, realist narrative adventure. What I think that means is it's a, people would divide, sort of snottily call them a walking simulator, but I think this follows along the lines of maybe something more like Edith Finch, which is also coming to mobile platforms soon, by the way, where it's kind of like an experience that you're playing, like kind of an art piece rather than a bang bang shooty. So there's a lot of stuff in there that looks really, really stylistically cool. I don't know what that game really is, but it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, I would probably take that journey. That looks really cool. Next game here, Storyteller. I would really recommend people watching this trailer because it immediately sold me on it. It's a storybook creator. Essentially, you get a page in a storybook that gives you a prompt. It's like one word or a short sentence, and you have to put these almost like I don't remember what that game was called. You got to take these limited number of pieces you have to make a story out of that prompt on this page. So like they show the first one on the trailer is Tragedy, and it's essentially like, oh, you can have this man and this woman meet in the first panel, and in the next one, the man is standing next to a grave, and she's like, you drag her icon to the grave. That's a tragedy. But you can also sort of mix and match it with all the different pieces you have. One of the other prompts they showed was being cured of vampirism. And
yeah, I'm actually looking at that one right now.
Yeah.
Where you have like the options to insert Knight, Crypt, Professor, Count, Mina, and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Into these storyboards, basically.
It's a really cool idea. It's a little hard to explain, but as soon as you watch the trailer, I think it clicks immediately, and it's like, yeah, all right, cool. I could play that. That seems great. So that's Storyteller. Go check out the trailer for that. Showed off another trailer for Solar Ash, coming out PC, PS4, and PS5 on October 26th. That looks like another trailer from that game where I don't know how you're going to play it, but I'm very interested to find out because I liked Hyper Light Drifter. So whatever that team makes, I will be playing, apparently in October. They showed more from Skin Deep. This is the new game from Blendo Games. They've talked about this a couple of times before, where it's an immersive sim about the space insurance profession, where you're kind of going through, if you wanted to be a insurance adjuster and play a game like Prey, this is a combination for you. Being weird like Blendo Games always makes. I never know about their games, so I'm seeing the trailer for this is sort of like, yeah, okay, that certainly looks like a video game thing. That I'll see what this looks like when reviews come out. Most importantly, Game of the Year next year, Stray. They showed off a gameplay trailer this finally.
Yeah.
The cat with its cyber backpack and a robot helper that talks to it. Watching the cat safely explore a bunch of environments, doing some cat parkour, and then totally blasting enemies with some sort of thing out of its backpack. Looks really great. Obviously, I'm going to love it. Early 2022, Game of the Year for next year. Probably not joking. Maybe. I don't know.
I want to say in the book Mecha Samurai Empire, they
Mhm.
have a video game that they mention that sounds a lot like Stray.
There we go. Pick it up. It's great. And last but not least, the genuine surprise of the show, Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye. They showed a little quick trailer that ends with "There's more to explore here," September 28th. That looks like really, really great in a way that I want to know virtually nothing about that game at all. And the trailer they showed was a lot of like, here's a sun being eclipsed, and here's some underground stuff. Ooh, and here's an elevator. It's like, that's all I need to know. That's right. It's more Outer Wilds.
To continue the confusion, remember this is Outer Wilds new game,
right?
Not Outer Worlds.
Not Outer Worlds that is getting an expansion also. Yeah, it's it will forever be confusing, but that's okay because I'm glad they said this is the first and last DLC they're going to put out for this until they move on to sort of dedicating all of their resources to the next project. So that's great. I'm more than happy to hop back into that. Someone asked them on Twitter if they should if you need to start a new game or if you can use your old save, and they said that you can use their old save. So I don't.
So does it really matter with that game?
Right. Like, I'm not sure. And I will probably just start it back over to play that game again, I guess. I'm not even sure. But more Outer Wilds is really great. All right, let's get to our question this week from Angel Eye on YouTube. It says, "Hey guys, I have to work tonight, so I'll listen then, but I got a question for the show. What's the longest you've gone not playing games?"
Probably. Oh, hold on.
I have a definite answer.
Okay. You can go first.
1 year. That was my time in basic training. That was my time in A school, and that was my time in deployment.
There you go. That's an easy one to do the math on.
Yeah.
6 weeks. Also kind of easy because that was when I almost died.
Okay.
Four or five of those weeks was in the hospital. So
there you go. I don't know. Maybe like the week it took my now wife and I to move from Ohio out to here and like get our house set up. That was maybe like a week and a half, maybe. Still did a podcast, so maybe I did play something. I don't know. I usually play like at least a little bit of something every day, though, and like nowadays, more often than not, it's my kid and I checking out something. So, I also did manage to secure a pre-order for that Playdate, that handheld console with the crank.
Okay.
I was figuring that my kid and I would probably play that together. Wink. No way, Daddy's playing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was probably the longest time is like during that period of time when I, moved across the country. 2,500 miles and change. No big deal.
Yep. No big deal at all.
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about in the first segment, like I've been using Final Fantasy V as my like laying in bed relaxing game while I'm listening to Nextlander. Like, I play at least a little bit of something every day, even if it's just like I'm gonna play some Picross. Play a little bit of that today,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, and that's all the questions we got here. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Sorry, I'm trying to find out why these horrible racist people in chat aren't showing up in Twitch chat so I can report them. That's not fun. That's why I had to get rid of chat. You guys can't behave yourselves. TVGP.tv. You can find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page, including our Discord server. We're going to start ramping up here for another a brand new Destiny 2 season and expansion. So come hang out there and chat with us.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen.
3 weeks until the trailer and the new season.
It is ash that spews from his mouth.
No, it isn't.
Aren't you going to be the mod in that channel?
He's the lurker. He's absorbing all of the information, but not hanging out too much. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Talked about all the cool benefits you got at the top of the show here. Your patronage helps me pay for the show. Anything above and beyond that, we start saving our ducats for a new computer for Moon, which means you should go sign up. Patreon.com/E1M1 to help us.
Also means that Boston plays scary games and cries.
That's right. Yeah, most importantly, the $250 a month goal means I get to play spooky, scary stuff.
And that list only gets longer.
That's right. Uh-huh. And it gets us. The more money we can get, the better hardware we can start saving up for, and doing all the improvements we would need to do. We've needed to do for a while anyway. But and you get that is no joke. We are rounding on 700 episodes of audio available to patrons here, and I don't take any of that stuff down. So if you sign up now, you get all of that back catalog stuff, including this week's Outcast, which was really good. I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Jimbo General in chat says, "How is Nextlander? Been meaning to check it out. I really like it. I'm really enjoying the kind of energy level they're bringing to their shows. If you check out their YouTube channel, I highly recommend the Gone Decay Here Tomorrow series, where they're playing State of Decay 2 on a harder difficulty. It's very good. They just put up episode 4, and I think each one is only about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's really, really, really good.
They also did a stream with Abby recently, and I don't remember
Pokemon Unite.
Yep,
that was a really good one too, where it's just 3 people that don't know MOBAs and 1 person that has a League of Legends problem playing a Pokemon MOBA, and it was as chaotic as you expect it to be. Or Brad is saying somebody get in the jungle, start jungling. And everyone's like, what does this mean? What are you doing? Good times.
Yep.
So titles. I'm going to start with you.
Yep. I have Space Grandma.
Why did you say that like a Southern gentleman?
Who did?
You said I have. You I have.
Oh,
Praise Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Make number go big. Let's get you to bed, Grandpa. An immersive sin.
An immersive sin. Moon, what do you have?
Make the number go big. Good luck with that. Walls. Yeah. Don't even tease me, and semi-reliable.
I have the Clickety Clacks, Animal Zelda, Space Grandma, Make Number Go Big, and Immersive Sin, and Quarrels. I did check Make Number Go Big because all of us had that one.
I really like an Immersive Sin.
Yeah, and Immersive Sin is good too. I think those are probably my 2 leading ones.
Yeah.
I think
I'm a fan of Immersive Sin.
Okay. I was gonna say I like Make Number Go Big a little bit better, but I'm not married to it.
You're the deciding factor, man. That's why I'm throwing it out there, so I don't have to be the deciding factor.
I like whatever you guys like. Don't worry about it. What do you think, Moon? Have you weighed in yet? I don't. Has Skype eaten your response?
No, honestly, I kind of like them both. I've immediately got something for Immersive Sin, but Make the Number Go Big is quintessentially us as well.
Mm-hmm. I also like that we took 3 stabs at what I think it's called power level, and we took 3 stabs at that, and I don't think we got to that answer.
Yep.
It's the big number in the menu. You know, mine says like 13 something. The big number. Make that go bigger. The yellow one.
Sounds like Make Number Go Big.
I think so. I'd swing towards that. It tickles me too.
Make the Number Go Big it is.
All right. Circling it. Let me know when you guys are ready. Do a do a do 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 a do 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 do.
Yeah.
It's a great title. We're having trouble riffing
sure.
on.
Let's go. I kind of got something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 719 for August 20. Nope. Not there yet in the month. Not in the 20s. In the 2s. August 2nd. The 2nd of August. 8-2.
Which, that's crazy to hear out loud.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah. I'm almost 40. I'm 40 at the end of this month. Take 2, 3, 2. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 719 for August 2nd, 2021. Make number go big.
I like the bars. I like the numbers.
What do you mean I have to get my gear level up?
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Hanging out with us, chatting, being cool peeps. Except for you guys, you know who you are. Appreciate you all hanging out this week.
Spoken like a real dad.
That's right. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. Just disappointed. Had a huge number of people again watching. Really appreciate it. I hope we'll see you next week. Bye.